made in French by Victor Wembanyama. Game 2, Wolves Spurs. San Antonio at home, down 1-0. First quarter, watch him influence both sides of the floor. Rudy Gobert, no, not taking that shot. And now we're going the other way, and stay with it. Spurs up, no good. Here comes Wemby. Come on.
How many times do you get a highlight on an offensive rebound for a player who wasn't in the frame?
A magnet to the rim.
Here's some more.
Oh, that's great.
Wembanyama.
You can see it
early.
Yes, that's the mission. Get in the paint, not on the three-point line.
Late in the first half here, Spurs are up by 14. Remember, Wembanyama was 0 for 8 from 3 in Game 1.
Deep one.
Right on cue.
Deep.
Good call. Good call, Alan.
He had 14 points in the first half last night. Spurs up 17.
Watch the catch, down. Michael. Watch the catch.
And straight up.
He
shot clock down, totally
Watch
aware.
Him shoot this in the air.
Totally aware.
What a talent.
Is that an alley-oop 3?
Spurs by 29. That's Vassell again. Spurs by 25. That's a 4-point play. Minute later, Stephon Castle. They just come at you in waves, Michael.
They do. Harper, Castle. We haven't mentioned De'Aaron Fox yet.
No, and he had a great first quarter.
Everyone knows Wembanyama. What you don't realize is this team is loaded with guys who are all about the same size and can all do stuff. And there's Wembanyama again. Wemby, 19 points, 15 boards, 2 blocks. This one was over early. San Antonio handing Minnesota its largest postseason loss in franchise history. The 38-point win, the third largest playoff win in San Antonio's history. Here was Minnesota head coach Chris Finch after the loss.
Well, I mean, they just kicked their butt in every aspect of the game tonight. So offensively, defensively, it didn't matter. They took it to us, and we didn't really respond very well.
What do you say to your team after a tough loss like this, or do you let the stat sheet speak for itself?
No, I just told them we just got punked.
They got punked in Game 2. It's all even going back to Minnesota. Winman, number 1 takeaway.
Repeatedly so far in this playoff journey for the Spurs, they've impressed me. Several, Series 1 against the Blazers, they lose Victor Wembanyama. That's 1-1 going up to Portland. They fall down in the first half. They respond. Game 4, Wembanyama comes back. They fall down again. They respond. They have a very narrow, frustrating loss in Game 1. Their vision, they're sticking to their game plan, their intensity right out of the gate in this one, they respond. Now, winning the first 5 playoff games and winning the next 5, 2 different stories. But for a team whose biggest impediment is its lack of experience and time together in these moments, I continue to be impressed with how they handle their business. They handled their business. Here's where I was really impressed. It was a 24-point game at halftime, right? They come out in the third quarter like a veteran team and push it to 40 because they don't want to mess around. The Spurs are impressing me by the week right now.
This is like what Wendy, my bad. What Wendy's talking about is maturity. And that's something that we keep questioning about this team. This Spurs team. You lose a Game 1 like that at home, sometimes that can be crushing to a young team. How do you recover? Maybe they overreact to Game 2. They handled that Game 1 loss as well as you possibly could for a frustrating loss you could have and walked into Game 2 saying, we're going to get back to playing our game. That's the maturity factor for a very young team. That's why you've got to take this team serious.
And you know where I found that? I found this story after our show yesterday. So after Game 1, after the Spurs had lost Game 1, Wembanyama walked over to De'Aaron Fox. They whispered briefly at their locker, and they walked away laughing. And Wembanyama was asked what he said. Fox was, and he said, we talked about how we were in a good place. We played like bleep, and we lost by 2. That's what a mature team does. A mature team doesn't panic. They say, we're actually in good shape. We played as bad as we can play, and we still almost
There's
won.
something inside of Wemby, specifically, Wembanyama, that helps facilitate that. He hates losing at a level that reminds me of the GOATs, the Council of GOATs. He hates losing like Bird hated losing, like Jordan hated losing, like Isaiah Thomas hated losing. He hates losing in a way that, even as pleasant as he is, all right, with that wonderful lilt in his accent, he probably made it a little uncomfortable in that locker room in the day that they had. And you look at his demeanor last night, he wanted to crush them. And Minnesota, they were back on their heels, and Anthony Edwards talked about this. He thought, okay, we got to come in like the mature team that does not settle for the effort of game one. We got game one. Let's not come in here and have human nature dictate the terms of our performance. That's exactly what happened. But the human nature of the other dude,
I was about to say.
Wembanyama hates. It's like, remember when he was crying after the Olympic game, and then after they lost the game in Vegas, his first time in the Cup. That's the level of hatred of losing I'm talking about that affects that team.
So you go on the road with the intention of stealing one, and the Timberwolves did that. Then they get, in their own coach's word, punked in game two. So who has the advantage in this series now headed back to Minnesota?
I would give it slightly to Minnesota just because they stole a game. But to me, if this San Antonio team continues to demonstrate the maturity that we're talking about, they're looking to go and make a statement in game two, or game three, rather. Now, I do think that Minnesota should be credited for the type of grit and maturity that they have. The issue when I look at it as Minnesota is how healthy are they? What's going on with Anthony? Is he improving through this thing, or is it going to rob him of some of his bounce, which is quintessential to his game? Is Ayo Dosunmu coming back? Like the whole thing?
Windman, quick final word.
I'm thinking about Wilbon's Council of Goats.
Yeah, me too.
It's got to have. They've got to meet with fine Corinthian leather. It's so mentally difficult to play against Victor Wembanyama that you need perimeter scoring. Ayo Dosunmu came back last night, didn't look good, couldn't make an outside shot. Ant Edwards, his first 5 shots are threes. He misses those. They need scoring from their guards going forward when they go back to Minnesota.
All right, much more hoops.
Since 1983, and that 38-point margin of victory is their largest when trailing in a series in franchise history. The Wolves, on the other hand, not so positive.
We've just been together so long, man. We know each other. We know what we got to do. And, you know, I told the guys after the first game, like, the natural tendency for teams that steal the first game, the away team, they get blown out game 2. So we can't come out cool, and we came out cool, and what happened? We got blew out. So, I mean, my mama used to tell me a hard head make a soft ass, and that's what happened tonight. So
we got beaten every way possible. I mean, as simple as that. It's not really much to say from this game. They out-hustled us, out-physicaled us, out-executed, played better defensively, more energy. Like, they just beat us in every way in this game, and we got to come back next game to be better.
They just kicked their butt in every aspect of the game tonight. So offensively, defensively, it didn't matter. They took it to us, and we didn't really respond very well. No, I just told them we just got punked. Yeah, so.
Do you understand what Ant's mom was trying to say?
I'm not quite sure.
We're trying to figure that one out.
Moral of this.
Hard head, soft behind. The Wolves' response to game one, obviously less than ideal. It's a 38-point loss, their largest loss in any game since 2019. Even worse than that, it is their largest in a playoff game in franchise history, and 8 more than any other loss for that matter.
Hey, it's Mr. Perkins. Hello, Kendrick. How are you?
I'm well. What's going on, my brother? Hey, I'm loving the combination, suit and tie combo. I like that.
Thank you very much. Listen, I'm not sure how much analysis this game actually requires, but as far as Wemby goes, it didn't take him long to surpass his point total from game one. What did you see tonight from the tall one?
Well, I saw him embrace being a big man that got guard skills, and I keep saying it. When he embraces being a big man and playing in the paint, he's basically unstoppable. And what we saw was him come out and set the tone with a physicality and a certain type of tenacity on both ends of the floor. He wasn't hanging around the three-point line as much. He did a great job of balancing it out, mixing it in, playing inside-outside basketball, and he set the tone for the entire game. And then we saw the rest of his young troops follow, and then all of a sudden they continued to play with a certain level of physicality on both ends of the floor.
Turn this thing into an absolute blowout. So now after game one, you switched your pick over to Minnesota. Mm-hmm. We got this beat down here in game two. Where are you now with this? Who do you think is going to win the series at this point?
Well, look, I'm somewhat like LaToya Luckett. I'm torn between the two, but I'm still riding with the Timberwolves, okay? I'm not going to overreact to this. I believe that the Spurs understood that they were in a must-win situation, and they did what they were supposed to do at home and tied the series up. But now Minnesota has home court advantage. And if you don't think for 1 second that building is not going to be rocking on Friday night, you're crazy. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, we saw how relaxed they were on the bench throughout this blowout because They're a team with experience, and they're a team that has been to back-to-back conference finals. And they know that this season, they have protected their home floor and haven't lost a single game. I expect the role players to play better at home. I expect Anthony Edwards to elevate his game even more in Game 3. But make no mistake about it, this is going to be a physical, brawl-for-it-all series.
Yeah, Timberwolves are tough out. Historically, they just are really tough